Cheers, I think Buckaroos, and how the heck are you? I'm going to be Tom the Beer Whisperer and Whiskey Whisperer. I didn't think I would be able to get it set up for 7. I didn't get out of work till about 6:30-ish, but who knows? Anyways, I digress. What's the guy's name? Bill something, Bill Kirkenbauer, I think. One of his old jokes anyway, but who knows? You try to fix something here real quick. And now we're in business. So how the heck are you? We're going to start this slow. I was able to get this going somehow. Somehow, man. Put it together on the fly, grabbed a couple beers, poured a little whiskey. Pedrick's Rebellion, Puccine from Restless Spirits. This is interesting stuff. It is big. It is at 115 proof. That was 120, but it's at 115. Copper pot still, triple distilled. It is 100% malted barley. Stuff is just crazy good. And but typically you can drink it as a shot if you like. You can drink it warm, it's fine. I decided I'd put some on ice for something just a little different today. Just to get it cold using my Restless Spirits glass. Even use my Restless Spirits shot glass. How about that, man? Anyway, I digress. Oh, man. I bought 2 bottles of this. It's the only one I've got open. I'm toying around with the idea. This is supposed to be drank, like this. But I'm toying with it because it's 100% malted barley. I'm toying around with the idea of getting some from my home brew shop. Getting some oak chips and aging that on oak and see what I end up with. It's just gorgeous as is, though. Put that off to the side for a second. I got 2 beers ready to go, so I want to get right to them. Set that down there. Make some room up here. Brewery Imperial Pilsner. It's a nice, perfectly done Pilsner. And Sláinte. As always, anybody watching, have any questions or comments, please put it up on the screen. If you'd like to be part of the video, let me know and I'll send you the link, typically via Messenger. Oh, the first beer of the day. Yeah, I just got home. Did a short shift at Banter Brewing. I go back to my regular job here in a couple weeks. A little over a week, actually. I'm ready. I was hoping they released me to go back next week, but they didn't. So anyway, but it has helped being able to work part-time at Banter because it really has helped me get that leg strong. Oh, mercy, that is good. Again, just quality Pilsner, big biscuity malts, nice herbal hot finish. It's absolutely what you want a beer like this to do. They're not reinventing the wheel here. They're just making a classic beer. Complex, not complicated. I like that. There's a little place up called Uncle Bob's here, and their slogan is, "It's not craft beer, it's handcrafted beer." I love that slogan. So I wasn't crazy when Beer Geek started using the term craft beer because it just invites a lot of pretension, right? Well, what else are you going to call it? So I'm going to call it beer. I don't know that we need that separator in there. I kept telling my friends craft beer isn't pretentious and shouldn't be pretentious, and we've watched very pretentious breweries, so I'm not going to mention any names, but you know who I'm talking about. The breweries that only do sours or only do 750s or only do this or only do that. Or don't do beers that have less than 10 different adjuncts in them. They can't make a regular beer, but they can do this peanut butter, banana, peanut butter, banana, walnut, salmon, seaweed, marshmallow. Mercy. It's just crazy the flavors that are out there these days. And I wish they'd get back to just making fucking beer, man. Just make me some beer. How about that? You want to impress me? Make me a fucking beer. Hey, John, how are you, sir? This one, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get on for 7 o'clock tonight because I didn't get off work till 6:30. My wife had to run out for a few minutes, so I thought I threw something together real fast. I hope you're having a nice Friday, going into the holiday weekend, I guess, huh? All right, let me switch props out here. Drank that first beer a little quicker than I intended, but like I said, it was the first beer of the day. Martin City Atlas Steam. I am kind of surprised they're able to use the Steam moniker, but maybe that's just because, well, maybe that's because, right, of the well-known Steam is no longer with us. Well, hopefully it'll get revived. I think that's the wish of most of us, that it will get revived. There is a lot of reasons why some of the older breweries have gone out of business. Some of them just couldn't keep up with the times. In some cases, it was just bad management. John says he'd be happy to jump on. You let me know when you're ready, John. Discuss what you were just talking about with the styles. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. You just let me know when you're ready, and I'll add you to this one. Um, or we can start a second one. Depends on how long it takes you. But I would like to have that discussion with you. Absolutely. Um, there are, we're going back to, I guess, no, I'm not going to get back into it. I'll wait. If you come back on, I'll get back into that. Anchor, again, was Anchor bad management? Was it, I mean, they've been sold a few times. There was a lot of distribution issues. I haven't got Anchor in my area for about a half a dozen years. So, your beer isn't going to thrive if it doesn't have distribution. Now you can limit your distribution if you want, but then you've really got to concentrate on the area that you are distributing. For instance, we have a lot of small breweries here in Springfield, Missouri. Most of them are distributed outside of the state, and they've gradually, conquered markets. Springfield Brewery's been around for quite some time, the late '90s. They just it wasn't all that long ago that they just finally tapped into the St. Louis market. So you can't say we don't want to go to every state. That's okay, but the areas that you are in, you really got to concentrate. You really got to hit those areas hard. You've got to have the right salespeople in those areas. Back in 2016, I went to work for a small, struggling craft brewery in Springdale, Arkansas, Saddlebach, and there had been some issues that had been rectified. Things have been changed, so there wasn't any problems with the quality of the beer. Their styles were great. There was some, unfortunately, the owner had made some enemies. And I can tell this story now because he's no longer the owner of the brewery. He was a great guy. I didn't have any issues with him, but he was a person that wanted to do things his way no matter what. But he wasn't from that area. So when you come to an area like that, you got to make friends. And he kind of steamrolled and made some enemies, and it became hard to get the beer into place. When I took over the area I did, I basically had to go in every place I went to and apologize, even though it wasn't my fault. Hey, I'm sorry you had these issues. I mean, it wasn't even about selling the beer, to be honest. It was just about mending fences. So I said, hey, I apologize. Every issue that you mentioned is valid, and I guarantee you we've taken care of it. However, let me just leave you some samples, and I'll come back next week and check on you. I didn't high pressure sell anybody, not a soul. And in doing that, I was able to create a route in the 2 years I was where there wasn't any. And it wasn't about selling the beer. It was about making friends. And I think a lot of people in sales just don't get that. You try too hard to sell the product. If you push too hard, you're going to turn people off. I don't know that every sales organization is like craft beer, but you have to make some friends. You've got to go. I'd go every week, every week, every week. How you doing? Here's a sample. Every week, here, and like I told, no, 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 and then it was gradually, okay, okay, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, I don't know. I do think the term is. I think as soon as you say craft beer to a macro drinker, that they shut down. I think it all becomes about protection. I'm gonna post a comment, Doug, because it is valid. I think when it comes to beer, it just means artisan. Again, artisan. I kind of like it and I kind of don't, because again, you say artisan and automatically it's pretentious. I think it makes it harder. I know I've been able to get a lot of macro drinkers to drink craft beer. Maybe not solely, but I've been able to get them to drink craft beer by going the opposite direction, by not using those words, by not using words like craft and artisan, by just giving them beer. Hey, this is a beer from here. But I think the second you use those words, craft and artisan, trying to hand a beer to a macro drinker, they shut down completely. Yeah, I get that. I get the quality versus quantity, but I don't think you need that word. I don't think you need that word to qualify that. And I think that's what it becomes. The words artisan or craft become qualifiers, and I don't think you need those qualifiers to accentuate that you've got a better product. So let me show you this one again. The Martin City Atlas Steam. I'll be good to go in about 10 to 15. Should I jump on this show or we'll start another? Let me know when you're ready, John. If I've wrapped this one up, I'll put another one together and send you a link. We'll probably start a new one. I'll probably go ahead and wrap this one up. So I wanted to have a couple beers, relax from being off. Hey, I'm off work. Finally get to have a beer, a little alcohol. This is a very Martin City. I really enjoy Martin City beer. It does remind me of that classic, right? It reminds me of that classic anchor. I am surprised they can use the word steam because most will just use the word whatever common. Yeah. Uh, California common is a traditional name, but a lot of places would use whatever wherever they're at, blank common. But they're using the word Atlas Steam. It's a good beer, though. But I will tell you that I am a fan of Martin City Brewing. In my opinion, everything they do is top notch. They stay rather true to style in the styles that need to be so. For instance, their Oktoberfest is right, perfect, right true to style. And I think they've done the same thing here with their Anchor Steam. That weighs in right at 5%. I mean, it's right where that beer needs to be. Obviously, they're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Oh, fuck nuggets and gravy. Yeah, I did work a little more this week than typical. Um, it's the first time I've put in 3 days in a row at the brewery since operation. So, and the reason for that was I'm trying to get my leg where I can work, work work the 4 or 5 days a week at my regular gig. So I am rather sore, but you've got to get sore to build the strength back up. Premium term is a beer. Macro it's not pretentious to make that distinction. Yeah, I'm going to post your comment because, again, I think it's valid. I just happen to disagree. I do think the term craft, as soon as you say term craft to a non craft beer drinker, it's automatically pretentious to them. It just is. Now, you say other craft beer drinkers, they might not see it as pretentious, but to anybody that's not a craft beer drinker on the regular, sees that as a pretentious term. And again, I just don't think you need that qualifier. I think if you're doing a quality product, you don't need to add that qualifier because the product speaks for itself. Uh, Biscuits. So it is nice to be home and relax. I'm going to take advantage of my last week not going to my. I really thought I'd be able to go back to work Monday, but the doctor said no. Said everything looks good. I don't have any issues, and I'm way ahead of schedule. But because of the job description, they wanted me to wait till the 18th, and I talked them into giving me that extra week to make it the 11th. He says you've got a lot of your job requires a lot, and we want to make sure you're healthy. So I get that. And then my wife was, my wife actually did not want me to go back until the 18th either. So, and I kind of had to, I want to talk her down to where the 11th. It seemed like a good compromise. I won't go back to work on the 4th like I wanted to. But I talked both of them into letting me go the 11th because I really need to get back to work. But I will tell you, having worked 3 days in a row at the brewery, putting in some hours, I am extremely sore. I worked a shorter shift today, and I felt like I'd worked a full shift because my body, my muscles are that sore because I haven't done that in that long. So I'm trying to get myself where I know I can get back to work, but I want to do it in a healthy way. I've been trying to lose a little weight, which is tough without being able to exercise. But now with my leg getting better, I can get back out there and do more exercise where it was just extremely painful before. So we'll try to get back into a regular routine again, get back to work. Anyways, yeah, I don't necessarily, macro drinkers don't put much stock in beer terminology. Um, I kind of agree and disagree with you at the same time. I think I understand what you're trying to say, but anytime you use the word macro, or anytime you use the macro drinkers don't like to be referred to as macro drinkers. I have learned that. Also, anytime you use the word craft to a macro drinker, well, this is craft. They automatically think pretentious. You're there. You're because as soon as you say craft, what you're telling them is what they're drinking is inferior. Now it is, but I mean, if you convey that message in that way, they're automatically going to shut down and they're not going to listen to you. Uh, Again, it doesn't matter. I mean, the term craft beer is out there. I'm not going to change anybody's mind to say we should use it or shouldn't. I just didn't like when it first came about because, again, I think it emits pretension. The word artisan does as well. I think there's only a few times artisan really, bread. I think you could sell artisan bread because, okay, obviously Wonder Bread isn't great. If I've got artisan bread, it's better. But you could use the terminology with beer. This is artisan beer, but people look at it differently. It's automatically seen as pretentious the second you use those terms. Fuck nuggets. I had a long day on Wednesday. It was very busy, and when my wife picked me up from work, I was just in massive pain. I mean, massive, massive pain. She says, I was worried you was putting too much stress on your knee. I said, no, it's not the knee that hurts. It's my feet. My feet are killing me. My back is killing me. My back's killing me. The knee feels fine. Anyways, I digress. I got to wrap this one up. I'm going to put a new one out there and be back in just a few minutes. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, for beer wisdom man. All around good guy. Sláinte.